I'm 112 years old. My mind is sharper today than most people's at 60. And I'm about to tell you something that every doctor, every supplement company, every brain training app will never admit. Because if they did, they'd lose everything. I've watched 47 people I loved disappear into dementia. My husband, my sister, my best friend of 80 years. I sat beside them as the light left their eyes, as they forgot my name, as they became strangers in bodies I'd known for decades. And here's what haunts me. I did all the same crossword puzzles they did, took the same vitamins, had the same genetics as my sister, but they're gone and I'm still here, remembering everything. The difference wasn't what we put in our brains. It was what we refused to let out of our hearts. Every morning I wake up at 6, I make my own tea, I read the newspaper without glasses, I remember the names of my great-great-grandchildren, all 9 of them. I still do my own taxes, because frankly I don't trust anyone else to do them right. At 112, my mind works. It works well, and I did everything they tell you to do. The crossword puzzles, the fish oil capsules, the brain games, staying mentally active. I did all of it, but here's what breaks my heart. So did everyone else. My sister Margaret was more disciplined than me. She did her puzzles every single day, never missed her supplements, read 2 books a week, kept a journal, did everything the doctors recommended. She was diagnosed at 74, gone by 78, didn't recognize her own daughters at the end. I watched her do everything right and still disappear, and I started asking myself a question that nobody seemed to want to answer. Margaret and I grew up in the same house, same parents, same genes, same education. We even took the same vitamins. So what was different? What was actually different about how we lived? Let me take you back to 1979. I was 67 years old and I was disappearing. Walter, my husband of 43 years, died in February. Heart attack, no warning. Breakfast one morning, gone by lunch. Just like that, half my life vanished and something in me broke. I stopped leaving the house, stopped calling friends, stopped cooking real meals. I would sit in his chair for hours, just staring at nothing. Days blurred together. I forgot appointments, forgot to pay bills, forgot what day it was. Sometimes I forgot to eat. My children whispered about me when they thought I couldn't hear. She's declining. Maybe it's early dementia. The grief triggered something. They weren't wrong to worry. I was fading, but it wasn't my brain failing. It was my reason for using it. I was waiting to die, and my mind was cooperating. Then my granddaughter Patricia showed up at my door, 24 years old, pregnant, alone. The father had left. She was terrified. She didn't ask me how I was feeling. She didn't suggest puzzles or vitamins. She said 5 words that saved my life. Grandma, I need your help. She needed me. And not to be entertained, not to be comfortable, to be necessary. I helped raise that baby. Changed diapers at 68, sang lullabies at 70. And somewhere in those sleepless nights, my mind came back. That's when I understood something the doctors never told me. The brain doesn't decay from lack of stimulation. It decays from lack of meaning. I was a nurse for 40 years, watched hundreds of patients come and go. But it was after I retired that I really started paying attention, because I started watching my friends disappear. 47 people I loved. 47 goodbyes to someone who no longer remembered my name. And after a while, I stopped believing it was random. I started seeing a pattern. The ones who faded fastest, they had something in common. They retired and stopped being needed by anyone. They lost a spouse and withdrew into silence. They outsourced every challenge, hired people to handle their problems, stopped struggling with anything difficult. They avoided hard conversations, protected their peace, kept things pleasant and shallow. But the ones who stayed sharp, they were different. My friend Dorothy, 94 years old, mind like a steel trap. She still taught piano to children 3 days a week. She wasn't doing it for money. She was doing it because those kids needed her. She learned their names, their problems, their favourite songs. She stayed curious about them, even when her fingers hurt. Then there was Margaret, my own sister. She retired at 65 and never looked back. Did her puzzles alone, read books alone, avoided family conflict like it was poison. I'm protecting my peace, she'd say. No stress, no struggle, no one depending on her. She was gone in 5 years. Dorothy lived to 99, sharp until the last month. The difference wasn't genetics, it wasn't luck. It was how they chose to live. So what saved me? 3 things, and none of them are what the doctors tell you. First, stay necessary, not busy. Necessary, there's a difference. Busy is doing crossword puzzles alone at your kitchen table. Necessary is solving real problems for real people. Volunteering, teaching, helping someone who actually needs you. I'm 112 years old. Every Tuesday I balance my neighbour's checkbook. She's 86 and her eyes aren't what they used to be. She needs me, and that need keeps something alive in my brain that no puzzle ever could. Here's what I've learned. A brain with nothing to protect will stop protecting itself. Second, keep getting uncomfortable. My sister's mistake. She did puzzles she was already good at, read books that already agreed with her, watch the same shows, talk to the same people, never struggled with anything new. At 89, I learned to use a smartphone. Took me 3 months. I cried twice. At 97, I started learning Spanish. I'm still terrible, but my brain doesn't know that. It just knows it's working. The brain grows from struggle, not from coasting. Comfort is cognitive quicksand. The more you settle in, the faster you sink. Third, and this one matters most, feel everything, even the grief. The people I watched fade fastest weren't the ones who suffered most. They were the ones who refused to feel their suffering. They stayed positive, avoided hard conversations, numbed themselves with routine and pleasantness. But emotions aren't just feelings, they're exercise for your mind. Every emotion you refuse to feel is a room in your mind you lock shut forever. Lock enough rooms, and eventually you're living in a hallway. I still cry about Walter, 45 years later, and that's exactly why I still remember him. I've outlived everyone, and that comes with a weight most people don't understand. Survivor's guilt. That's what they call it. But it's more than guilt. It's the torture of knowing what you know now and not being able to go back. Margaret, my baby sister, I watched her retreat into that quiet house, watched her choose peace over connection, and I said nothing. I told myself I was respecting her choices. I wasn't respecting anything. I was watching her disappear and calling it dignity. I should have dragged her out of that house, should have made her uncomfortable, should have given her a reason to stay. I thought withdrawal was peace. I thought routine was stability. I was wrong, and now I carry that. But you're still here, listening, which means you still have time. Cognitive decline doesn't start at 70. It starts the moment you stop growing, the moment you stop being needed, the moment you decide you've felt enough and learned enough and struggled enough. So ask yourself, right now, who needs you? Not who loves you. Who actually needs you? What scares you? What new thing have you been avoiding because it's hard? And what are you refusing to feel? This morning I woke up at 6 made my tea, read the newspaper. Later I'll help my neighbor with her bills. Tomorrow I'll practice my terrible Spanish. I'm still necessary, still uncomfortable, still feeling everything. Your brain doesn't want to be entertained, it wants to matter. I'm 112 years old. I remember everything, and now, so will you.